I just want to make a quick video about Pete Hegseth's confirmation hearing. We all know or should know that Pete Hegseth should not be Secretary of Defense. Should a person who has never led a large organization be Secretary of Defense? No. Should a person who has demonstrated they have a lack of character or morality be Secretary of Defense? No. Should a person who has multiple sexual assault and sexual harassment allegations be Secretary of Defense? No. Should a person who has shown an inability to effectively manage any organization they've been a part of and not have them go into financial ruin, should they be Secretary of Defense? No. Should a person who denigrates women and their service to our country in combat roles should they be Secretary of Defense? No. Should a person who denigrates particular minority groups who serve in the military, should they be Defense Secretary? No. He is not qualified. And it is just enraging that they're allowed. It's enraging that they're allowed to get away with standing up there talking about meritocracy when they don't have the merit themselves to be Secretary of Defense, and talk about standards for women in the military, standards for all service members. The standards have been lowered for Pete Hegseth. The standards have been lowered for Donald Trump. If we had standards, Donald Trump would never be president. If we had standards, Pete Hegseth would never be Secretary of Defense. So don't come in here and talk about standards, because obviously Donald Trump doesn't have standards. The people who voted for Donald Trump, they don't have standards. I mean, they really don't. The people who voted for any of these Republican sycophants don't have standards. The only standard they have is me. Long as I win, I don't care about anybody else or anything else. I only care about my team and myself. That's the only standards they have. He doesn't have the qualifications. You know, when they talk about making America great again, when you look in the past, we have sought out people with expertise in defense, with relative experience in defense, and character. And all of those things are lacking in Pete Hegseth and his boss, Donald Trump. But what they're doing is very, very dangerous, because they're doing the same thing they have done to the FBI, to the Department of Justice, and any institution that could oppose them, is to destroy the credibility in the eyes of the American people. When it comes to the Defense Department, one of the few institutions that still, and military is one of the few institutions that still has credibility in the eyes of the American people. And what they are doing is trying to, I would say, I don't know if it's knowingly or unknowingly, but they don't care either way. They're destroying the credibility of the military for half the population, because they are politicizing the military as they politicize everything else. They are pretty much saying, if you don't view the world as I view it, you should not be in positions of power in the military. If you have a difference of opinion or thought, you should not be in the military. And that's very dangerous, because if we ever enter into a national security crisis or emergency, we do not want half the population, when they're already suffering from retention and recruitment issues. You don't want half of the population to say, "Hey, I don't want to get involved in the military because it is a political organization." And I did not seriously think about joining the military, but I thought about it. But one of the main reasons I didn't was because of Donald Trump. I did not want to be under the command of a person like Donald Trump, who has constantly politicized the military. And I think that has had devastating effect, and will continue to have devastating effect if we continue to go down that path. The military should be apolitical. It should be seen as an entity that is only designed to further the interests and to protect all of the American people, not just some of the American people, or push political views of some of the American people. Unfortunately, we haven't politicized the military. They say we have politicized the military with wokeness and DEI. But diversity should not be a political view. Inclusion should not be a political view. Equity should not be a political view. But they have politicized it so much that it has become one. And the studies show that diverse organizations have better outcomes than organizations that are not diverse. And it's really a shame that we are allowing our country to really be destroyed by people who only have loyalty to one man, and that's Donald Trump. And I hope there's a reckoning for all these people who are complicit in this at the ballot box in 2026 and 2028. And if there is, I hope the Democrats use that to really make fundamental changes to the way this government works and functions. Because we cannot continue with this. Everything is politicized, from wildfires, hurricanes, to FBI, defense. It's just unsustainable. And it's really a sad day that these are the people that we're putting forward to lead this country. Not the best and brightest, but this most sycophantish people who have no decency and just no respect for others or themselves. It really is a shame.